All right. This is not going to be a long presentation. It's just going to show y'all something in detail. All right. And like I said, the reason I did a PowerPoint on this is so y'all can actually see it. Okay. So the topic is going to be the paganism of birthdays. All right. The paganism of birthdays. Because I know that like I said before, we'd be like, oh yeah, we don't celebrate birthdays. But the issue is why? Just because I'm Israel, or just because yeah, I know we're not supposed to, you know what I'm saying? But do you even know why? Okay. Uh-oh. How do I change my screen?
Bottom right corner, there should be some arrows.
It's not.
If you tap the screen, it should change too.
Ah, there you go. All right, here we go. So pagan is perhaps mid 14th century person of non-Christian or Jewish faith from late Latin paganus, pagan, and classical Latin villager, rustic, civil, non-combatant, noun use of adjective, meaning of country, of a village, from pagus, country people, province, rural district, originally district limited by markers thus related to Pangaea. To fix, fasten. The English word.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
The English word was used later in a narrow sense of one not a Christian Jew or Muslim, a person of heathenistic character or habits. Right? Heathenistic character or habits. They came by 1841. In the 14th century, it said a person of non-Christian or non-Jew faith. See what I'm saying? You go to idolatry. And the reason I'm using idolatry is because paganism merges you into idolatry. Worship of idols and images from the 13th century, from vulgar Latin. So from the Latin Vulgate, contraction of late Latin idolatry, Tertullian, okay? Jay studies with me all the time. Tertullian is one of the first old church fathers that came up with the Trinity. Am I correct, Jay?
Well, and then they say he don't even really believe in it, like the church say. Yeah,
Right,
so it's
right. You see what I'm saying? So if you guys ever read into the old church fathers, make sure that you understand which church fathers you're reading about and what they're saying. All right. So this goes into idolatry, right? Let's get another one. Ancient pagans were people who practiced religions that predated Christianity and were not part of the major world religions. They lived in ancient civilizations such as Greece, Rome, Egypt, Scandinavia, and Ireland. This is where your paganism comes from. Some of the beliefs that they have, ancient pagans offered Salaki. Ancient pagans often worshiped more than one god. They believed in close harmony with nature and performed rituals in nature settings. They incorporated elements of nature worship and magic and folklore. A lot of times, so keep this in mind. I'm not gonna point this out during the presentation too much, but keep this in mind. So if you see these things, you see this type of ritual, how they're all gathered around, and yeah, they have these animals and nature and stuff like that, but it's the gathering, right? If you look at this picture right here, a lot of times, whenever Greeks and Romans gathered together for certain rituals, they did it naked and they was weird and you know, that's just I don't know what's wrong with Edomites. They're just nasty. Okay. That's just like a thing that they had going on. Didn't even matter which ritual they celebrated. That's like what they did. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what is wrong with them people. Okay. What is Satanism? Satanism. Now you have um multiple ways or multiple beliefs of Satanism, right? But all of them worship this right here. This, what do you call it? Baphomet?
Yeah, the Baphomet.
Right. All of them worship this. You know what I'm saying? It got breasts and horns and face of a goat, stuff like that, wings, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, right?
So like it has the male part and the female part. That's what
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's what I was yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That like it's a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? You have multiple different types of Satanists. So you have a theistic Satanist. Some Satanists believe that Satan is a deity or supernatural being that can be worshipped. You have an atheistic Satanism. Some Satanists do not believe in magic, thinking, or the existence of Satan. Personal Satanism. Some Satanists believe in personal liberation from traditional beliefs. What is traditional beliefs? Is just speaking of like, like certain worships of the devil itself. Uh, that's all. But they have their own beliefs, their own set of beliefs, stuff like that, right? The reason I mentioned Satanism is because what is the highest holy day of a person that worships Satan? Not
October.
at all, brother. Not at all. It was a good guess.
It's
But
Christmas.
you see this right here? Holidays. In the Satanic Bible, LeVay, this is an author of a person that writes a Satanic Bible and memoir. You know what I'm saying? The Satanic Bible, LeVay writes that after one's own birthday, the two major satanic holidays are what? I can't pronounce that word. And Halloween. Other holidays celebrated by members include the two solistic and two equinoxes in UL. What was the first?
Birthdays.
Birthdays.
Salakia. I don't want, but okay, I know it's birthdays. I know that I had birthday, but it says Halloween. That's why I said October. Was I incorrect?
Yeah, you're not incorrect. Yeah, you're not incorrect. But Halloween is second.
Con.
Yeah, so you're not incorrect. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but the very first holy day for them is their birthday. That's why it says after one's own birthday. Then the two major holidays are whatever that W is and Halloween. So the highest holy day for a Satanist is your birthday. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Con.
It's it's your birthday. Why? You see what I'm saying? You gotta understand why that is. You know what I mean? There's certain things that happen when it came to a birthday. You see? Go ahead, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
It was the day we were cursed.
Mm, I wouldn't. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say it was the day we were cursed. Um, it's just I'm not gonna go into all the scriptures where they say we were cursed, okay? Because that is individual brothers speaking of that. So I wouldn't go that far. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Kanya.
You're putting yourself higher than the Most High.
There you go. Or on equal plane,
Con.
right?
So like how you said, it's putting yourself higher because for that day, everybody worship you that day. So you're receiving
Uh,
reverence. You're above
Con.
all.
Con. Yep.
con. That's what I said. Or on equal plane. You see what I'm saying? So, con, absolutely, absolutely. So to a Satanist, your birthday is the highest esteem, right? So us, if we put our birthdays to the highest esteem and everybody comes and worships us and so on and so forth, are we not Satanists?
Con.
Ah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So one thing we have to understand is, and I see it all the time, you know, brothers and sisters are arguing like, but it's my day. I was asked this recently. My son asked me, like, isn't it our day? All I retorted was, how many people have your birthday? And he was like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when he got to thinking about it, I was like, so if multiple people have your birthday, how is it your day? See what I'm saying? You don't own that day.
That's a cut. That's a that's a worldly cut.
You like that? Like, yeah, like you don't own that day. You don't own that day. That's not your day.
Adawan, that wasn't a biblical cut. That was a worldly cut.
I mean, this is something that our people neglect to think about. You see what I'm saying? So how's your day? All right. So we understand that the birthday is the highest esteemed holiday for satanic people. So, are you a satanic person? Let's go to the scripture. Let's get it.
Mike, before you move on, can you go back to that screen you was on first? Can I just add two things?
Go ahead.
Can you take that picture of the Baphomet head in that circle and lift it up a little higher so everybody can see it?
Oh, the one before that?
No, no, no.
That
You
one?
see no, no, no. Go back to the screen you was just on.
That one?
You see that picture
Oh,
that you
you
have in
talking
the
about
corner
this
right
right
there?
here down to
Yes.
the right?
Yeah. Are you able to lift that up a little higher so everybody can see it?
No, I
No.
can't because it's. Oh, can I?
Okay.
How do I do it?
If you put it in there, you can lift it. If it's a part of the screenshot, you can't lift it.
Oh no,
Okay.
no,
So that's good
that's
right
part
there.
of the screen. No, that's part of the screen.
Okay. So
Salakia.
that's good right there. How you just went
So
back so
so
everybody
so
can see it.
Salakia. So all of us, what we can do is we can expand our phone and we can zoom it out, zoom into it.
Oh,
Like I can do it with my phone.
right,
Okay.
right.
Well, he just did it where he dropped it back, where he zoomed backwards, and you can see the whole thing. Anyway, I just wanted everybody to see that. You see how that's a perfect circle, right?
Come, we can see the
And
whole picture.
okay, and then y'all see the Baphomet head in the middle, right?
Come.
All right. Now on your birthday, what do people do to you?
Don't go that far, Jay.
Oh, okay, okay. You got more of that? Okay,
No, no,
because
no,
that
no.
picture,
I know what you're getting at, but
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
want to know now.
No, no, no,
because
no, 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 no. No, I'll go into the cake, but you could go
no, no,
that far
no,
with
no. I
that. No,
wasn't gonna
no.
even go into that part though. I was gonna just go into the circle part, the
Yeah, that they
ritual
may
with the
be the
circle
center of
part.
Go ahead,
attention.
go ahead, go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead, Jay.
Yeah. So like you see how the Baphomet, so the Baphomet is their god. So they have all of us do this ritual where we're sitting in the middle and everybody surrounding us chanting the same thing. That's what I wanted you guys to see in that picture. Like everything that all the rituals that we learned from the heathens, it has a meaning going back to their gods. And that's all I wanted to express with that. But I didn't want it to get away because once you start going into the biblical, I know you probably get away from the Satanist. And my second thing is with the whole Satanist thing, like MAGA. I don't know if most of you guys know this, but MAGA, Donald Trump, is a Satanist. MAGA is the highest of Satanists you can get. And they just flipped it to make the world think that it's make America great again. But mega is really for the highest ranking level of Satanist that you can be. Like how Brother Mike pointed out, Anton LaVey, the guy who started the Satanist church and wrote the first Satanist Bible, they have a ranking system. And that mega is the highest ranking system. So what we seeing is demonic forces really moving about in the world. But I don't know if you guys know that or not, but you can look it up for yourself. You got an understanding on that. I just seen an opportunity to teach about the rituals of the birthday, so I didn't want to let it get away. Salakia, Mike, you got it.
Nah, nah, you good, you good. I thought you was just gonna go into the cake, but
Now I knew you had that part of your presentation. I wasn't gonna go into that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't want that other part to get away though.
yeah. So you know, yeah, but yeah, you good. So
All right,
he's
for this
right.
picture, for future reference, for this picture, when we come back, I want to go ahead and explain something on here that I just seen. So go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Adwan.
go ahead.
No, because I don't want to give it up either. So go ahead, do the presentation. When we finish, we'll come back to this picture and I'll show you what happened.
Con. All right, here goes some scripture for you, right? This Leviticus 18, 1 through 3 says, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. That's one thing. And say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye do. So like, let me move this. shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Right? I cannot see. Okay. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1 through 3. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with an axe. Okay, let me touch on that real fast. This a lot of us use for Christmas, right? But the whole chapter is not going into Christmas. The whole chapter is going into idolatry. All right. And it tells you not to learn the way of the heathen. Okay. Just like Leviticus 18, it says, after the doings of the land of Egypt. Right. This the book of Numbers, chapter 7, verse 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, they shall offer their offerings, each prince on his day. What is on your day? Your birthday, right?
Your birthday.
Cool.
Or the day assigned to you for a specific reason, right? For the dedicating of the altar, and he that offered his offering the first day was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab of the tribe of Judah. And his offering was one silver charger, the weight thereof was 130 shekels. One silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. Both of them were Salakia. I cannot see this because of the thing. Salakia. um, I can't see it because the Zoom thing.
Oh, you can move the
You see
Zoom.
this?
You come out the bar across the bottom.
Yeah.
Move it to the top. Or hide it.
All right. Well, Salakia. After the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them were full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering. The reason I even brought that out is because on his day, they dedicated it back to the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? They dedicated their day back to the Most High. It wasn't theirs. You don't rule that day. Like I said earlier, how many people also have your birthday, so to speak? I've met multiple people with my birthday. It's not my day. See what I'm saying? The day does not belong to us. But the main focus that I wanted is after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. Right? That's the main part that I want. Let's go here. This is an article from this Rebounders Extreme Fun Center, whatever. I don't know what that is. This is just an article that was written for them. But you said I could hide this. Yeah.
See those options right there? Hit the minus sign.
Ah, gotcha. All right. All right. So here's the article that was brought out, right? May be hard to believe, but celebrating birthdays hasn't been around forever. The origins of birthday parties come as a surprise to many people. Let's take a look at where they started and why many of the common elements of birthday celebrations came into use. The first mentions of a birthday came from ancient Egypt. Then the Most High that we just read in Leviticus 18:3 say, don't bring that out here.
Kind.
So the first mentions of birthdays came from ancient Egypt, where large celebrations were put on for the pharaoh. These celebrations were coordinations, coordination dates, symbolic of the pharaoh's birth as a god. The first of these is said to have taken place somewhere around the year 3000 BC. The first record instance of this can be found in the Hebrew Bible, which describes such a celebration for the Egyptian pharaoh, like many things. This Egyptian tradition came into use by ancient Greeks. They similar, similarly celebrated their gods as a form of tribute. To do this, they offered moon-shaped cakes to the lunar goddess Artemis as a way to recreate the moon's radiance and Artemis's beauty. The Greeks added lit candles to make the cakes look look as if they were glowing. This became a tradition carried on to this day. And you can see that happening where this talking about in the book of Genesis, chapter 40. Book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 20, 22, 23. Says, and it came to pass the third day, which was the Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler. He restored the chief butler unto his butler. How do I get this? Oh, what is going on? Okay. So like, and he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand, but he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to him. Yet he did not, the chief butler, remember Joseph, but forgot him. The reason I showed that is because what happened, you see what I'm saying? This is the Pharaoh's birthday, and someone died. You see what I'm saying? Okay. This says ancient Greeks primarily celebrated birthdays by honoring the gods, particularly Artemis, the moon goddess. Okay, I'm gonna point something out to y'all real fast. This article talks about the moon goddess, but they also worshipped the sun god. Okay, it's not gonna tell you that it has to deal with Saturnalia because that has to do with December 25th and so on and so forth, right? All the way to January 1st. Okay, so they're not going to put it together. So the articles is not going to say both, but they are going to say one. They're going to say the moon goddess. Okay. But keep in mind that it is both. Matter of fact, Jay actually has a book. I forget what the name of the book is, Jay, if you want to chime in on that, but it will tell you that it's both. Okay.
So like it's called Two Babylon. Oh, the Two Babylons, yeah. Or the Papal Worship, that's what it's called.
Right, right. So, and it does reference both the sun and the moon, right?
Khan, because the Arabians was worshiping the sun god and everybody else was worshiping the moon god. So yeah,
Uh,
they
Con.
both linked.
Go ahead, Adawan, go ahead.
So I guess it's a cycle that keeps going because all these teachings go back from Egypt because Egypt everything had to be a god. You had the god of air, the god of sun, the god of the moon, the god of the water, and
Con.
they all grabbed that. The Greeks grabbed it, then the Romans grabbed it. It's just on and on and on and on. Like, and then like they just
Yes,
changed the names around, but it still identified. The sun was this. It was a god. The moon was a god. The air was a god. The birds were a god, and etc.
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, a lot of the gods go on through time. They're just given different names. If you look at Greek mythology, their god Zeus is the same as Roman mythology of their god Jupiter. It's the same. Yep. They're the same gods, just throughout time, they just was given different names. So yep, you're absolutely correct, Doc. Absolutely.
Erdogan, one question. In Nimron's time, was he doing that? Was he naming the air a god, or was he just calling himself a like it was just him calling himself
He,
a god?
yeah, he was calling himself a god. That's why he wanted to challenge the Most High. That's where the Tower of Babel came. Makes sense. All right. How you say I hide this? Salakia. Oops. There you go. All right. Okay. This is crazy, man. All right. Ancient Greeks primarily celebrated birthdays by honoring the gods, particularly Artemis, the moon goddess, by offering moon-shaped cakes, decorating it with lit candles to symbolize, considered the origins of the modern birthday cake, the moon's glow. This tradition is with candles. So you see this birthday cake down here that is shaped like a moon, and then the candles represent the moon's light. See what I'm saying? Key points about ancient Greek birthday celebrations. Focuses on gods. The main focus was on celebrating the birthdays of gods, not individual people, with offerings and sacrifices made in their honor. See, so these Greeks would sacrifice in honor of the gods on the birthday. Wasn't even an individual thing. It was for the gods that they were celebrating. Artemis and the moon cakes. People would bake moon-shaped cakes as a tribute to Artemis. So when you see these round cakes, like Jay pointed out earlier, right? When people circle people, it is for a reason. You see what I'm saying? There's a whole tradition and ritual behind these things. It's not just them singing you happy birthday. There was a whole thing behind it. All right. People would bake moon-shaped cakes as a tribute to Artemis, the goddess of the moon, and decorate them with lit candles to mimic the moon's light. Only important family heads, usually men, celebrated their own birthdays, and these celebrations were likely much smaller than those for the gods. In ancient Greece, the ancient Greek would celebrate birthdays with moon-shaped cakes and lit candles on the sixth day of each lunar year. The cakes were a tribute to Artemis, the goddess of the moon. The candles represented the moon's light. The ancient Greeks would extinguish the candles and let the smoke carry their prayers and wishes to the gods. So when you sit there and you make a wish, blow out your candles, that is what it's for, because they believe this smoke is going to carry it to the gods. That's what this is for. There's a meaning to your cake, your candles, and blowing them out. You people surrounding you and everything. There is a meaning to all of this. In pagan cultures, cakes were often used in rituals to honor the sun and cyclical nature of life. For example, the ancient Celts and Russians baked round cakes to celebrate the sun's return in the spring. All these people are worshiping different gods, and they're doing different rituals in order to honor gods on birthdays. So when you are celebrating your birthday, you're basically trying to honor that God. It doesn't matter. Look, people be like, what if it's not on that day? What are you doing it in the name of? Right? Doesn't matter if it's not on your actual day of birth. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it in the name of something. You see what I'm saying? And this is what it's going into. This is why you're even celebrating. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said earlier, the first accounts were dealing with Egypt. And we were told not to take nothing out of Egypt that we do. Right? Here's how the Romans celebrate. Okay. Ancient Romans celebrated birthdays with feasts, gifts, sacrifices, and prayers. These celebrations were often religious in nature, as the Romans believed that each person had a tutelary spirit called a genius that protected them for the year. Wealthy Romans would throw lavish parties and feasts. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we understand that when it came to Greeks and Romans, a lot of their feasts and parties dealt with what? Them being naked, them being having like orgies and what is going on? Them having orgies and stuff like that, right? Let me see. Ah, okay. You know what I mean? A lot of them had to do with that, right? The celebrant would receive a geneth I don't know what that word is. Sister Izzy, help.
Listen, I'm just as lost as you is. I'm over here stuttering.
Right here. Gifts.
Well,
Genethliacum.
Listen, that sounds very good. You take it.
Or an natil Lycium, an ordinary gift, whatever. All right. The sacrifices. The celebrant was sacrificed to the genius. Incense was burned on the altar. Prayers were said to the celebrant's genius, and power emperors would provide games and circuses for their people. In ancient Rome religion, a genius was a personal guardian spirit that accompanied each individual from birth until death, essentially acting like a protective deity specific to that person, often depicted as a young man or snake, and considered the embodiment of one's creative potential and life force. The word genius itself originates from the Latin genere, meaning to beget or to create. So even in Rome, when they're celebrating birthdays, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it unto a god that they're following, right? This particular thing that watches over me, that's what I'm celebrating. I must make this clear. It is fine to acknowledge your day of birth. Even in the Bible, Abraham, Sarah, stuff like that, they knew how old they were. But do you ever see them celebrating it? No. All right. This is a picture right here. One of the most famous inscriptions from Rome antiquity is from Vindolanda, a fort along Hadrian's Wall in North Britain. This so-called birthday letter of Claudia Severa, who was writing to her friend, whatever that name is, on a small wooden tablet. The point being is, let's drop down. Severa's letter reveals the importance that surrounded personal birthdays in Roman culture. But the question remains, how did that come to be? This was an invitation. All right. If you look into the history of this, especially this picture that I have, this is an invitation. So the invitation to your birthday also goes along with this. Remember, the gathering together is a part of the idolatry and paganism. Go ahead, sis.
No, Salakia, before you leave out of this slide, I wanted to mention for those of us who have kids that watch Disney, you know that movie Coco? I don't know if you all have ever seen that movie, but this goes into what they were talking about when Brother Mike brought out the snakes and spirits that follow to protect. That's what Coco was all about, the spirits and all that stuff following that's the traditions that they celebrate.
Con, yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that. I think I seen Coco before.
Salakia.
Yeah, Dia de las Muertas. Yeah.
Salakia.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, that's Issachar, man. They be tripping. Issachar, they be tripping. Huh? Ephraim be tripping. Yeah, Ephraim be tripping too, but Issachar take it way like I mean we all do. We don't have there's no levels, man. We trip. We all trip. But Issachar, the problem is with Coco. I get it as a yes. It's a lot of symbolic in their new belief and their belief because they know that they from the most high, but they was taught to do other things. But yep, you hit it right on the nail with that.
This is not a new belief though, brother. Like I
Con.
said, remember it started in Egypt. That was the first recorded birthdays coming out of Egypt. So when we
I just say new belief because it was brought into like they knew the Most High. They just chose to do different.
yep, I agree with that. Absolutely, absolutely. So like I said, this picture down here is an invitation to a birthday. So when you're sending out invitations to your birthday, that falls into this type of paganism. You see what I'm saying? Invitations, RSVP, please. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That falls into that. That's this is where we got it from. It was never our thing. That's why our people was so raggedy when it comes to uh RSVP and you know what I'm saying? Like because it in our blood, it wasn't our culture. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go to the next slide. The practice of gifting. The practice of gifting Black children as slaves. All right. Gift slaves were enslaved babies or young children taken from their parents and gifted as wedding or birthday presents to white family members or friends. The ultimate goal? Indoctrinate the child to institutional slavery. I'm gonna give y'all a heads up. A lot of our people did not know their birthdays. Your slave master did not tell you your birthday at all.
Why would they? They didn't even teach us to read.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of our a lot of our people, they didn't know exactly how old they was, nor did it even matter. So it's something that we didn't celebrate regardless. You see what I'm saying? We didn't even have any type of knowledge of it. See what I'm saying? Uh, go ahead. I can't see who all raised their hands, but
To give an example of that, my grandmother celebrated 2 days because they didn't know the original one.
mm,
And that was just recently because babies were still, they were still having kids at home. And the
mm,
doctors would come around whenever they got time to the Black houses. And I
oh,
Salakia.
celebrated the day that he showed up.
Salakia, can
oh,
I throw something else in there? Yeah. In Egypt, they celebrated it every month for like 6 months. They celebrated the king's birthday. So that's a tradition too.
Greek too. You see what I'm saying? So we don't even know, a lot of our people don't even know how. If you read Frederick Douglass's writings, he didn't know how old he was. You know what I'm saying? Because the slave masters never told him his day of birth. He made his date of birth up. You see what I'm saying? It was not celebrated either because we were gifted to other slave masters for their birthdays. It had nothing to do with us. You see what I'm saying? So the rest of the article says, caught in a never-ending tragedy, these stolen children lived in slave owners' houses, but often slept on the floor next to or under their slave master's bed or their children's rooms as child minders to watch them at night. Enslaved children were punished severely if they ran away or failed in their task. These gifted children, as young as 3 or 4 years old, were separated from their families and forced to clean, run small errands, and help cook. They later became field workers, forced concubines, or were sold. Historian Michael Tadman says 1/3 of enslaved children in Maryland and Virginia were separated from their family by sale away from parents. This is the type of stuff that happened during birthday or any so-called holiday that was these people, the way of the land, right? Remember, we're not supposed to fall in the custom of the land, nor do we take the customs of Egypt. If Egypt is the first representation of birthdays, we're not supposed to take that. Look at the things that's happened to us on these birthdays. You see what I'm saying? This right here is a picture of the old movie Mandingo or Django. During this slave master's birthday, he was going to have to fight another brother for entertainment. That's this picture right here. And then above, of course, you see that those kids are being sold off. See what I'm saying? This is James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be afraid of the world is Salaki. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. When we celebrate these types of things, you are an enemy of the Most High. All right. When you look at this picture, it says, when slave owners celebrated their birthdays, it further emphasized the dehumanization of slaves as they were often denied basic knowledge about themselves, including their own birthdays, making the celebration of their own birthdays largely impossible and highlighting the stark contrast between their lives and those of their enslavers. This lack of personal information was a deliberate tactic by slave owners to maintain control and suppress their slaves' sense of identity. Like I said, we did not celebrate our birthdays because we didn't even know it. Every time we tried to celebrate a birthday, or anytime there was a celebration of a birthday, it was not good for us, right? That's the title of the next page. Birthdays was never good for Israelites, right? Let's go to Job chapter 1. Job chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day. All right. And sent and called for their three sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feast were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their heart. Thus did Job continually. Why is Job sacrificing for them? Go ahead, Kanya.
Wow, yo, I got my mouth open. My brain just blew right now. I never knew that Joe 1 4 through 5, they're celebrating their birthday, bro.
And if you look down, I'm gonna give you a plain example. If you look down, the NIV for that verse says his son used to hold feasts in their homes on their birthdays. That's the NIV.
Yo, that's crazy. I'm over here. I'm looking at my rib like, wow, this is crazy. This is the first time he's seeing this. So
Yes.
that's why Job said, if he said, and it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, Job sent a sacrifice them and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt off, bro, because he's kissing, he's stressing. He's like, he
Right,
knows that
because
it was bad.
because he knows they're in sin celebrating their birthdays. Why else is Job sacrificing for them? So yeah, you're right, Doc. And like I said, if you go to the NIV, it makes it more plain. See what I'm saying? His sons used to hold feasts in their homes on their birthdays, and they would invite their three sisters to eat and drink with them.
Oh man, so you know what? Now I have a better understanding of why his kids got all killed.
Right, 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 right. They all got killed, right? You know what I'm saying? All Job's kids got killed. You see what I'm saying?
Salakia.
All got killed.
All right. That's why most people don't know when the book of Job was written. And to me, I feel like that one incident right there is a context clue that Job had to be around. Job had to be around after the law was given of not um, celebrating birthdays for what the Most High said in Leviticus. Like,
Huh?
so uh, to me, that's a context clue that he was around the first temple period once the Levites was around and all that. Not the first temple period, but a little bit before, once the Levites was given the commandments and all that. For him to sacrifice and do all he did, to me, he had to have the whereabouts about what was
He
going on.
right. He understood. Right. He
Con.
he understood what was going on. See what I'm saying? Let's get another one. Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 7 through 9. In the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. We were forced to keep the king's birth. Okay. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying Jewy, whatever that is. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions to be partakers of their sacrifices. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man hang seen the present misery. All right. We were killed behind the king's birthday if we did not celebrate it. Y'all understand that? It ain't had nothing to do with us. So it ain't had nothing to do with us, but we were killed if we did not celebrate his birthday. Go ahead, Doc.
So in verse 9, whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles, meaning the heathens,
Huh,
should be put to death. All right, the water.
huh, right? Let's get another one. Matthew chapter 14, verse 6 through 11. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat. He commanded it to be given to her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. So these three things that I'm showing you right here in scripture, birthdays was never good for Israel. It wasn't our custom. And every time something happened, we were killed. You see what I'm saying? And just like I showed y'all in the other slide, we were given into we were given as gifts in slavery for birthdays and stuff like that. Remember, it said children would be 3, maybe 4 years old, given as a gift. Nothing comes good about. I don't know what just happened. Nothing good comes about us um, having birthdays. We have nothing to do with that. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to give y'all a little bit of history and show y'all some scriptures to back it up. Birthdays have nothing to do with us. And that's why that last slide says shalom. Let me jump out of there. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Y'all can still see me? All right.
Fine.
All right. So that was just kind of a dive into the birthdays. And I'm going to stop recording. Wait. Oh, yeah.